rather than the early strategy of selling at every rise.
Okay, by the way, let's pull out a couple of stocks intraday. Mahindra and Mahindra now is surging. In fact, it's at high point of the day, up about 2.7% right now, almost erasing all of this week's losses. So that's been the kind of rally. ONGC as well, it was down about 2.5% in the early part. It's rallying now and has almost gone into the green. Of course, apart from that, you've seen Reliance, that move is continuing in Reliance. Sun Pharma has crossed 800 after a really long time, so that stock has also had a good time of late, and that stock also supporting the market right now. So a lot of these stocks doing well. And even in the mid-cap market, some of the late movers in trade. Pull out the intraday chart of HDIL. That stock is surging now as we speak. In fact, the entire real estate pack, but HDIL stands out within that, now surging at high point of the day. Kunal, a word on HDIL or any other real estate stock that you like?
Not really, Anuj. I think most of these stocks are still lingering below their longer term averages. You take the case of 200-day moving average or even the 50-day moving average, and I think even in terms of chart patterns, I think there is no significant pattern which has developed in these real estate names. I think couple of weeks back or probably couple of months back, there was bullish pattern developing in Indiabulls real estate, but that did not play out, and the stock is taking a lot of time for a breakout to happen, and generally these real estate names are very high beta names. So I think the more the time it takes, the lesser the chance the stock can actually fulfill that bullish pattern. So I would not really look at more bullishness on real estate names. I think a couple of names which you mentioned from the large caps. I think Sun Pharma and Reliance. I think these are the ones which really one needs to look at from a medium-term perspective as well. I think Reliance is breaking out of a trend line, almost a three-quarter trend line, and I believe that's going to be a very good sign for the stock going forward over the next couple of months.
All right. Well, there's some news coming in on Muthoot Microfinance as well. They're going to sell 10% stake to private equity players for 100 crores or so. Muthoot Finance has actually recovered from the lows of trade. But Kunal, the best performing stocks this month, in the month of December, have been some of the metal names. So Tata Steel is up 5% today, and it's been a big gainer this month as well. It's purely for a trade. Is there any more traction that you expect in metals? And if yes, which are your top picks?
Yeah. I think, Sonia, there is definitely more legroom happening. I think whether you take it in terms of short-term trading or probably with a horizon of 3 months or 6 months or more. I believe that the recent rally which you saw in the month of September and October start in many of these metal names, and in almost a 2-month consolidation in these stocks, and the fact that these stocks are now bouncing back again is really a very good sign. I think you look at sale per se, the reason why I picked up that stock, look at the volumes in the stock. It's almost a 2-month or a 3-month high volume which you're seeing in the stock. The stock is almost at the point of a breakout. Similar is the case with many of these other names. I think on your channel as well, I've been bullish on JSW Steel since 900, 920 odd, and I believe that most of these stock metal names I think has more room on the upside, and I believe even from current levels, whether you take Hindalco, SAIL, even Tata Steel or JSW Steel, I would not be surprised that you could probably see an upside of almost 30-35% in a matter of 3 or 4 months.
Okay, well, we've been talking about winners. There are a couple of losers as well. GAIL is now trading at low point. In fact, pull out the intraday chart of GAIL, and that is, in fact, as we speak, trading at the low point. Yes Bank has also given up some gains, still trading in the green, but has given up some gains in last 10 minutes of trade. But that stock overall has also looked good. Deepan, a word on some of these private banks, Yes Bank in particular. Would you buy it now?
First disclosure that VNI investors have invested in Yes Bank, and it's one of the top picks in the private sector banks from our perspective. So I think that these private sector banks remain on a secular growth trajectory and really are creating value for minority shareholders. There could be a bit of a hiccup on account of the RBI change in norms as far as the base rate is concerned, and that could impact the net interest margin. But broadly, I think these companies are gaining market share at the expense of PSU banks. They have revenue flows coming in from various businesses as well as from fees which are quite attractive and strong. And my sense is that as the interest rates continue to decline to the rest of the year, the private sector banks will be major beneficiaries. And by and large, I think the balance sheet is pretty decent for Yes Bank, and from time to time concerns have come about the balance sheet quality and exposure to various groups and sectors. but the management has clarified on all those kind of fears that the analysts have had. So extremely positive on Yes Bank. Clear case for the PE to be rated on the higher side, rated on the upper side, and I think remains best in class as far as growth rates are concerned.
All right, well, there are just 3 more minutes to go before the markets close for the day, and what a good day it's been for the markets. In fact, this is something we had referred to earlier in the morning, that with the Fed uncertainty now finally out of the way, the market will perhaps resume its uptrend, something that it has been doing for the last couple of days. Maybe it's just short covering, but this short covering rally has been pretty powerful in the last 3 or 4 trading sessions. So, Anuj, just about 3 minutes left for the day to end. A good day of trade today, but, you know, up until what level do you think this short covering rally could actually go?
No, I think today it's already more than short covering, as Mr. Wilson also pointed out, but 78.25 was the level I was watching out for, Sonia. If the market extends gains tomorrow as well, then this is no longer short covering. But the extent of shorts in the system suggests that there could be some more, and a move towards 8,000 could be possible. If a sell-off has to happen, it has to happen from tomorrow and at these levels. If not, then the market is really on strong legs and can make a move back towards 8,000. But for today, let's talk about the stocks that led the market surge. The biggest contributor today was Reliance. That stock moved after a really long time. 3.5% move on Reliance, and that stock really was the chief contributor in the last hour of trade. Apart from that, you had Tata Steel, Tata Power, Hindalco, Vedanta. All these stocks were top movers, but none of these had the kind of weight in the Nifty that Reliance had. Apart from that, you had HDFC that was up about 1.6%. Sun Pharma was up 2%. Mahindra & Mahindra was up 2.5%. Bajaj Auto was up 3%. Z Entertainment was up about 1.5%. Actually, there were so many index gainers. IndusInd Bank, Punjab National Bank. These are all 1% gainers. TCS, Larsen & Toubro, Maruti Suzuki. In fact, Maruti is very close to a lifetime high yet again, just about 2% off its all-time highs. ICICI Bank, well, it was up 0.5%. Again, tells you the kind of struggle that the stock is making compared to the kind of gains that the market made. In terms of losing stocks, 3 notable losers. We had Bosch, that was down 2%. Idea was down 1%. And ONGC and Kane, both reacting to crude, of course, were down about 1%. By the way, if you're surprised by or stunned by this 1% Nifty move, take a look at the mid-cap index that was up 2%, and Sonia will read out some of the names.
Oh, yes.